Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Jumbo, konnichiwa, ni hao ma. Welcome back. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community. More than 18,000 foreign exchange traders. Holy smokes. That's pretty amazing. So we gather this time of day to do technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of putting together trade plans. Today is a great day, Thursday, the best day of the week. That's awesome. Tomorrow is non-farm payrolls. So I'll be over at the FX Street YouTube channel tomorrow for the 182nd month in a row. That's a lot longer than your last 3 or 4 or 5 Forex gurus. So without further ado, let's go. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for contributing positive energy, focus, leadership by example. The hard work that you put into this thing you call Forex is going to be worth it one day. I used to be a venture capitalist, and I've looked at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of business plans. I've helped people raise millions of dollars. You know what? This is the best job by far that I've ever seen. So this thing we call Forex is important, and I know you can do this if you treat it like a profession. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't about luck. This isn't about gambling. This is a sustainable career. So if you look at it that way, if you look at this as a business where you create value, then I think you got a chance. It's just technical and fundamental analysis, yo. So I know you can do this. So thank you for working really hard. I appreciate you. Let me know how I can help. You can ask questions, get involved. I'll do my best to answer questions. Also, if you need training videos, you can go to fxbootcamp.com for training videos. If you sign up for those and you're going through all the different courses, and there's many courses, day trading, swing trading, fundamental analysis, all that kind of stuff. Hey, and you're like, man, this is great, but I want a live group. You can join the live group there, but you got to do the training first. I'd like to thank Traders Way for being part of this community as well, because when you do develop the skills and confidence required and necessary to be a successful Forex trader, you're going to need a broker. Yeah, broker, someone to match you with a buyer or a seller and via liquidity partners and execute your trade, as compared to what many brokers do is trade against you. If you want someone to actually execute your trade, you're going to have an execution partner that you trust. So Traders Way has earned my loyalty and respect. Give them a shot. Tradersway.com. Open a demo account. Give it a shot, yo. Give it a shot. Take a shot. Or at least say, hey, man, I appreciate these videos every single day. So just out of that, I will open a demo account. Pay it back. Okay. Me. Cool. Let me, I need to move the chat here a little bit. There we go. That's better. Yeah, the beige book. Yeah. What do you think? You reading the beige book? Theta says imports increased 10%. Does this create dollar demand? No. It's the question is a strange question. So go do a little more research. It's right. Do a little more research. Gee whiz. Just think about what you're saying. Imports with this increased dollar demand. You need to put a little more thought into it. Do some research, man. All right. Cool. Nice. Euro getting crushed. That sucks. Aussie coming down hard. That sucks. Pound, hanging around. Kitty cat, maybe trying to get something done. Yen neutral. Dollar slightly neutral. Swissy gaining strength. So, not good for me in the moment. Maybe this is just, right? Oh, well, what could create dollar demand? Well, okay, think about that. Why would people demand dollar? Right? It's just the opposite they do, right? All right. So, right? So, let's just go through sort of the commodities, right? Yeah, but what does the risk off on, what does that create for dollar strength? Why are they buying dollar? To buy treasuries. There you go. Why would you buy treasuries that pay you 2% every 10 years or 2% a year, right? For 10 years. Why would you buy a treasury that only pays you 2% a year when you could buy the stock market that goes up 2% a month? Why would you do that? Well, you don't think it's going to go up 2% a month, right? Okay. All right. Hey, ladies. Hey, what's colder than cold? Ice cold. Here we go. We're just climbing some more. Up, and up. Okay. So what you want to do here is drop into smaller time frames, right? Like this, and say, what you're looking at is, a bottom and the old top, right? And on a small time frame, what you're thinking is, what does climbing look like? Right? One issue that I have with this is many traders only trade on the small time frame. So they see something like this and they think it's all over. Versus somebody that does this thinks it's just a pullback. Okay. So we got 1M on the ADP. Very cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Cool. That's a pretty good number. Now remember, ADP, another dumb prediction, is SMEs, small and medium-sized businesses or enterprises. Okay? So that's good. Which to me says the Italian restaurant down the street that has very mediocre chicken parmesan and a fettuccine alfredo. Well, they finally got a waitress. Great. Quasi-Italian. Yeah. Well, the one I'm thinking about actually was started by, or is run by people from Italy. But, anyways, yeah. So great, they finally got a waitress. Good, which means she says, you know what? I'll take the money. Anyways. So there's a difference, right? So some people say, oh, low, it's bearish. And other people say, oh, good, I think I'll buy it. Okay. So it really depends on where you are psychologically. Okay. Now, Do you think 70 will be a psychological problem? Do you think we'll get through 70 before non-farm payrolls? And if the answer is no, then how would you guess today would play out? Okay. By the way, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the family. Okay. Okay. Okay, do you think that's going to be a challenge? Could be a rabbit, could be. Yeah. Okay. So right now, as far as today is concerned, nothing really has happened. It tried to make a higher high, was unsustainable. Why? Profit taking? Well, ultimately, I don't know, right? But that would have to. One would, let's say, the probability of some people taking profit up near psych level seems pretty reasonable, right? What do you think? Yeah, seems pretty reasonable. But generally speaking, this is bullish and is strength to a bullish thesis. Sanders says you're reading my book. It's great. It's great. Sander, do you say it with a Scottish accent? It's great. Very cool. Right on. There's reviews on YouTube, on Amazon.com. One guy said he read it at the bookstore, didn't like it, so logged on to Amazon.com and wrote a negative review. Well, thanks, dude. And someone else said it's the worst book ever written in the history of mankind. I'm like, well, okay. I know I don't write good. It's my first book, and I'm not a professional writer. Like, dude, I'm a trader. So I apologize that it's not, an award-winning novel. But I've read award-winning novels, and they're poorly written. So, so I'm glad you at least enjoy it, Sander. By the way, if you have read the book and you actually liked it, you didn't think it was the worst book ever written, ever, then I'd appreciate if you left a positive review on Amazon.com, just so people know, like, if it's a good book, they know they should read it, right? Yeah. Was it really 15 years ago? I don't know. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, right on. Yeah. To be a wizard, you have to think like a wand. But anyways. Oh, right on, guys. Right on, Marky. All right. But, maybe I'll write one on macroeconomics and seasonality or something if I was going to write another book. But I don't know how many books I need to write to feel fulfilled. All right, so here's gold stuck here. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, but what do we know? Okay. Cash says it's $100. $100 Australian dollars is a ripoff for my book. You know what? It's not actually my book, right? I sold the rights to Wiley Publishing, so it's their book, and I don't know how they come up with the price. If they sold it for $2, I'd be happy. Like, I don't know how they come up with it, right? They're also the ones that printed it. They're the ones that do the editing, like look for spelling mistakes and stuff, right? Right? So I wrote the manuscript. It only took me a year. All right. So anyways, so what do we know here? Well, the market is bullish, okay? But it's slowing down. Can you see the divergence? You know what? Let me just do it this way. Okay. Okay. So we were talking about this, 2 days ago? Price is going up. Well, let me make it thicker and darker. And I don't say the joke. I know what you're thinking. All right. But you got this going on, and then you got this going on. Okay. So, pop quiz. I taught you this a few days ago, whenever it was. It could have been yesterday. It could have been Monday. Could have been last week. But very recently, I taught you about divergence. What does divergence show us? And again, I'm defining divergence as price is clearly going up, but we're not making higher highs on MACD, and now we're actually having MACD come down. Okay? Yeah, that bulls are taking profit, yes. It's bullish, there's just less and less bulls. Right? Okay, cool, right? So stuff going on here before non-farm payrolls. Seems like we're just up near a fair value. Seems pretty reasonable up there. Okay. This is about 50% into the move. So, you know, people have to make decisions. Again, non-farm payrolls is tomorrow. So some people want to be in, some want to be out, that kind of stuff. It makes sense. Johnny says it's $59.43 on Amazon, right? How do they come up with that price? They're like, if we drop it from $59.95 to $59.43, we'll double sales. Theta says, so you could expect more dollar strength after NFP. Why? Why would you say that? Remember, if you can't say why, then don't say it at all. That's the whole point. You have to start with the thesis, not the result. Why would the dollar be strong after non-farm payrolls? Excuse me. Cash doesn't like Bezos. Well, Bezos is retiring in just a couple of weeks, so don't worry about that. Now you can love Amazon.com. I love it. If you need something, gee whiz, you might have to wait 2 days. That's what I like. All right, so anyway, some gold, some oil, yada, 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 yada. Okay? So gold doing its thing, oil doing its thing, but you got to kind of watch in here. Fine. Now, what you'll see is Biddy's finally, doing well off the bottom it had been creating recently. Okay. Okay. So we have it all identified down here. Bump. Right. Then green zone. Look at Did you buy it today? Look at that. What about now? Are you buying it for tomorrow? Cool, right? So you bought it today, right? Or did you buy it yesterday? Or did you buy it the day before? Thank you, Daniel. Cool, right? How's our ether doing? Let's zoom in. Okay. So, like, a lot of people ask me, do cryptocurrencies trade using technical analysis? Well, the way I teach technical analysis is I say, buy here on Monday, right? Like that exact price. And by the end of the week, you should be around here. What do you think? Does it trade technically? Okay. With that same idea in mind, if you happen to be a bear, right? Right? The sell is like this sort of area. It's a cluster of weekly and monthlies, but this is the monthly sell for last month, and this is the weekly sell for last week. So last week, you would have been a seller of Ether in here, right? You'd be selling Ethereum. And then down here as a bull, and you can see several days ago, I drew this line in the sand for you guys. And sure enough, people have bought it. And these are follow-on trades, right? So for example, this higher low creates a higher high, right? So if you were buying down here, you would anticipate a higher high. That's why you were buying. But then when you have the higher high, you anticipate the higher low, probably a roll reversal, and you continue this. So what are you doing now? What about now? What about the rest of the day? Today's already dead. What are you talking about today? Gee whiz, it's 8:30 in the morning. You're still thinking about today? What's wrong with you? This is all about tomorrow now. You can't show up today. What's going on today? What, you didn't have a plan for today? Okay. So like this, yesterday, it made a higher high. So yesterday, you should have been saying, well, I want to buy in down low, down on this roll reversal, down on Thursday, Thursday. So you buy down there. Now we're here, higher high. What do we do today? Well, you have to find tomorrow's buy zone. But it's all about tomorrow now. Okay? Okay? And once you get that, once that clicks, you'll move to the next level. Okay? So, for example, let's go back 2 weeks. The way I teach you in my swing trading class, in the swing trading course, is if you're a bull on anything, so we're looking at Ethereum, you want to buy, let's say, Sunday afternoon or Monday morning at the M2. What, you mean like this? Yes. Or what about this one? Like this? Yes. What about this? Are you buying on the way down? Not if you're a bull. Bulls don't buy on the way down. What the hell are you talking about? Right? So it's cool. Like, dude, you're either doing it or you ain't doing it. Okay? That's one of the great things about being a foreign exchange trader. Instant gratification. How'd you like to work 3 years on a project and then find out it was a dumb idea and nobody cares, but you wasted 3 years and, $30 million, and then you find out nobody actually cares? Not cool, right? Does anyone trade XMR? I think the whole point of this crypto is that it's anonymous. It's like Bitcoin, but completely, totally untraceable. Okay? Is that right on? Right, that's the point though, right? Yep. See, many, if not most, cryptocurrencies or tokens or coins, whatever you want to call it, are not actually designed to be money. They're designed to do something else. Monero is like wants to be Bitcoin, but is even more anonymous. Okay. How do you add? Oh, you do this. You go new chart, crypto. Okay. There's Dash. Okay. A few other things. Boop, boop, boop. Right? Zcash or Zgold or whatever that is. Cool. You try this. Go to this and do show all. It should be there. Okay, Zcash, Monero, Litecoin, Dash, Ethereum, Bitcash, Bitcoin. Dr. Rage, right? Now, yeah. Now happy. Hey, you're welcome. Okay, you're welcome. All right, people want to get on with the dollar pairs. I lots of requests for pound dollar, piggy doggy. El pigo, el dollaro. Okay. Okay. By the way, check this out. We call this an inside week. Look at that. Perfect. So this is quite indicative of a risk event coming up in the near future where buyers got out of the market, right? Sellers got out of the market, and we're going into NFP neutral. Okay. And I wouldn't think this way. I wouldn't think this way. Instead, I would think more like this. Okay. Or like this, depending on how NFP comes out. So you might be looking at 41 tomorrow during non-farm payrolls, and you're going to want to look at here. And the amazing thing is that's quite tight for a pound dollar. Okay. I'm spinning, oh, I'm spinning. How quick the sun can drop away. And now my bitter hands. What do you think about this going into NFP? Beneath the broken heart, what was everything? Oh, the picture said, I need the better time. Cash says CPI next week is when smart money will roll up. Yeah, well, yeah, because you're saying the inflation play. Well, but if they're doing that, in my opinion, it's not really smart money, but it is important. Smart money is more interested in the Fed meeting. CPI is like, yeah, okay, fine. But yeah, I would agree that there would be pent up demand, right? That kind of stuff. Right? Whole trade gone bad, turn my world to black. Tattooed all I see, all I am, all I'll ever be. I know it was a beautiful trade. All right. Yeah. So anyways, we just identifying support and resistance, yo. Okay. Well, the problem though, Johnny, so Johnny's like, looks like a good opportunity for the front runners, but here's my problem with it. Okay. I like the fact that you're thinking ahead. That's the most difficult point. Okay. But, how I say in English, it's not trending. So in a way, you should look at a non-trending market is a market in which you don't know direction. You can make certain assumptions and you can throw down some ideas based on fundamentals. But if it ain't going up or if it ain't going down, then there's no way you'll actually know. So I wouldn't front run a sideways moving market. Okay. I mean, you could say, well, you front run it by buying at support or something like that. But, typically a front run is, buying a dip, for example. So I'd be more cautious. Like when I see range-bound markets, I grow more conservative, and that's the whole point of using moving averages, right? So now we're below the 55, but above the 200. There is no market. Okay. You see what I mean? So, look, you can consider these two things as potential plan A's and plan B's, right? If you're a buyer, but I wouldn't do too much of it. Cash says, okay, Jackson Hole. Yeah, well, all right. I keep pushing back on Cash. I don't know why, Cash. I'm not battling you, but you're throwing out statements and you're inviting a response, right? Jackson Hole used to be a smart money conference, and now it's a circus sideshow. So somehow it went from nobody but the smart money paid attention to Jackson Hole, and now, like, there was a time not long ago with Janet Yellen where they actually had planned an impromptu photo. Like, they set it up like Hollywood style, where Janet and Bernanke and somebody else, I forget who it was, were staring off, looking at the Grand Tetons, thinking about the Great Recession, and photographers that just happened to be prepared and told to stand there, they all took pictures, and it was like, oh, and it was very Hollywood. And I'm like, okay, now it's not smart money now. Now it's just, it's pre-planned press conferences and photo shoots, and and I don't even know if they go there to talk about anything anymore. It's just a time to look like you're doing something, right? So I don't know. So I think here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is I think it's lost whatever alpha it provided, because you might back in the day pick up some tidbits that you didn't already know because you were one of the few people actually paying attention to Jackson Hole, and a central banker could say something where they felt like they weren't being monitored. But now they show up with like pre-planned statements like, well, we want to reassure the market that inflation is not out of control and that we're not going to taper by the end of the year. So let's make these statements. And all of a sudden now everything's pre-planned. Right? 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 The mystic masquerades, right? So it's, to me, now I'm like, well, they're not going to tell you anything you don't already know. Right? Okay. So, is it smart money now? Yeah, no, maybe. I don't know. All right, cool. So, dollar. So, dollar, as we know, going back in here, dollar is consolidating as we go into NFP. Now, Aussie, to me, like, it's not a dollar issue in the moment, and it's not a yen issue in the moment. Aussie's getting sold off. Euro's getting sold off. Okay? That's kind of more concerning to me. Okay? As you can see, it's not really dollar. But we could pick on the pig dog, for example. Okay? What do you think? Is it up, down, or sideways? Well, if we clear this out, you will see that, okay, that it's cooled off a bit, hasn't it? It's cooled off, but it's still bullish, don't you think? Yeah, Johnny says the Fed's already talking about tapering, but we talked about that, gee whiz, probably a year ago, right? That based on when they said they would be likely to raise interest rates based on an overshoot, all you have to do is reverse engineer the whole thing, and that's why we already know, right? So I think the earliest you're going to see a taper is September, and then rate hikes would be September of the next year. And that's a little earlier than before. And of course, you can watch the dot plots and stuff on the June meeting. Okay? That's another way of paying attention to when the Fed's going to wind down. But here's another way. Watch the 10-year T-note. Okay? We've been stuck at 1.6% for months now. Okay? Once you see that rising to 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, 2.0, then that's the taper. Johnny says uneducated are freaking out. Good. Okay? Good. That's how I make money. Okay? Mohammed says, so it's risk on. That's too bold either. That's too bold. Risk on was last year. Now it's more like, it's like do your job. Okay? Like in the stock market, a year ago, it was buy the S&P 500, right? Okay? So this year, now you need a hedge fund. Because now you need someone to say, of the 500 companies, if you're going to outperform the S&P 500, which will be sort of an average year, you're going to need a hedge fund manager that can provide alpha, that can select which stocks or which sectors to be investing in to outperform the S&P 500. But if the S&P 500 is going up 20% a year, just buy the whole damn beta. But if you're going to if the beta is now going to drop to 8% a year or 10% a year, and you want another 20% a year, now you're going to need to be able to pick the right stocks for the right reasons. And okay, fine. Now you need a hedge fund manager. And of course, when we shine, Forex traders, okay, we get overshadowed during bull markets. Because we're just buying and selling currencies, following the flow of money. And, you're making, let's say, 2% a month. Sure, it's compounding. So you're making 35% a year. But you're leveraged and stuff, so risk adjusted. You're looking good. But if the stock market is going up 20% and all you have to do is buy Vanguard, that's free basically because it's 0.03%. Okay? And how much are you charging? 20%. Okay? So let's say after fees, okay, the client gets what? 20%. But you used leverage, so risk-adjusted performance says, well, just buy the S&P 500 at Vanguard, and you'll have less risk because it's all beta. There's no alpha at all. You're throwing in leverage, a lot of leverage, maybe 50 to 1, maybe 100 to 1. So you're trying to say alpha, and then, right, which is risk, minus your fees, you get the beta anyway, so people would rather buy the beta. So they look at you and they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's good, pass. You're doing, okay, your Forex thing is fine. I get it, really good job. Nah, I think I'll pass. I'll just stick with my stock market, okay? But what happens now when the stock market is negative 20? Okay? Your job is still to provide 35% minus your fees and have plus 20 to your clients. You're an absolute return fund. So if the stock market's crashing, if the bond market's rallying, interest rates are freaking out, real estate's tanking, credit markets are freezing, it's the end of the world. People are running on banks. What does that have to do with you? Do your damn job. You should still be making your 35%. Okay? You're just like, oh, look, the market's crashing. I guess I'll buy the US dollar. And you don't have a down market. You don't have a down year. You don't have a bad year. Oh, well, the stock market was down. F you, where's my money? But the thing is, now you're out raising a fund and people are like, well, last year I lost 20% in the stock market. The volatility was crazy. Nobody saw it coming. Whatever stupid thing they were told, right? So now investors are like, so how did you do last year? You're like, well, I did 35%, but minus fees and stuff, it'd be 20% in your pocket. And they're like, wait, you made money last year? You're like, yeah, I make money every year. So comparatively, in a good market, when everything is easy, okay, you get drowned out in the noise. Everyone's making money. Even an idiot can make money. But on the way down, oh my God, those are going to be your best years and everyone's going to love you. They're going to throw rose petals at your feet as you walk down the street, right? Okay. And of course, now we're probably in a market that is going to do 10%. And so people are going to say, well, all right, well, you've got some leverage going on and you're doing 2% a month compounding and your fees are high, but really? I'm going to get 20% after it's all done? And you're like, well, my goal is somewhere between 2 and 5%. Okay? I guess you can't see that, right? You're like, well, my goal is somewhere between 2 and 5%. So you could average it out and say, well, maybe it's 3.3% at the end of the year per month. Okay? Which is 48.235. Minus fees. So you're like, yeah, maybe you walk away with 28%. Maybe, or 38% or 33%. And all of a sudden they're like, well, okay. Right? Okay, and interesting though, right? Guten Morgen. Cool. So anyways, it's still up but cooling off, don't you think? You're like, well, I don't really like that chart. Okay, well, then how about this chart? Let's go back. Many days ago, we identified that it needed to come back somewhere in here. Right? So again, it's people that are logging into their account and they're making a big deal about this. And yet, days ago, we can see that there's a slowing down of the process. It's waiting for the 55 to catch up and or retrace. People will log in and say, why is the dollar strong? Is everything changed? Well, maybe everything's changed, but, probably not. Okay? And in my opinion, most people lose money in markets like this because they're buying and selling, selling and buying, buying and selling, selling and buying, right? Yeah, well, Morena says 42 needs a break, and that'll happen because of the Fed meeting, right? So we got that in play already, right? We got that in play already. Okay. Okay. So we already know that. It'll break by then. Yep. Look to the time when I lived. Now that the war is through with me. All right, cool. Maybe look at some yen yen. Yen yen. Okay. Zoom in maybe. Still waiting. Okay, you might be in a plan B. I might try to buy again on a plan A. Fine. I think we need to mark this, right? Just waiting. Well, Cash says, the market idle comment. Yeah, but here's the thing. Amateur retail traders that are primarily short term, like they're only looking on a 15-minute chart and might not even look at other time frames. What happens is they're buying and selling based on some rules that some guru told them. And even if those rules were true, which many times are not, but even if they're true, they're misimplementing them. It's like they'll buy a lower high, for example, expecting a higher high. However, it's not trending. And there's a massive risk event coming up shortly that prevents new volume, right, of money. So if anything, what you should be thinking about when you enter a consolidation like this is volume is falling. Why is volume falling? There's a big risky thing coming. But an amateur retail trader doesn't think that way. They don't know these things, and they're just like, well, I was told when the MACD crosses up, I should buy. Somebody told me buy all the stochastics. Oh, somebody told me buy the moving average, right? So they buy the moving average crossover, which puts them long here, and now they're short. They get knocked out here, and at the very best, they probably didn't make any money, right? It's just you have to see. I think what is more basic. Nothing's happening. Why would you invest? But if you did invest, you got to invest very low. Or if you're a seller, you got to sell very high. But I think there's probably 1 million trades right in here, and everybody lost money. Okay? And you're like, right? And you're like, well, why did you buy it here? See, those people have lost money. Why'd you buy it here? There's people that sold in here on the retracement. Okay? It's just people just really making, I can't even say a poor decision. Usually it's no decision at all. Right? The MACD told them. And you're like, well, you're missing the whole point of market, right? Because remember what I ask people to do is, what are the market conditions right now? Neutral. So what are you doing as a bull? I'm buying dips. Whoa, that's what you're supposed to do in a trend, son. Right? So anyways, be careful. Simplify. I think that's what I said a day or two ago. Simplify. Is it a bullish market right now? No, not really. Then what? Then what's up? What are you doing? Okay. Anyways, let's go exotic if you don't mind. Yeah, this Mexican peso has been frustrating. But it's on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. Okay. So I've been paying attention to the fundamental data. It's still quite good, but I'm wondering if there's a reason why we're stuck at 20 for so long. The data seems to be improving. Okay. But maybe I'm just over anxious or something like that. I'm not going to do not really going to do any more. This is as good as it's going to get for this month. So I got to wait it out, I suppose. Okay. the yield is quite good on peso. It's very satisfying. Right? Well, Johnny, I don't think you have to apologize for that. Look, every trader here wants to make money, which means someone has to make a poor decision for somebody else to make money. If it's because they don't know what they're doing, I don't really care. Okay? Someone has to pay for my kids to go to Harvard. Okay? So, I don't know. I don't know the timing of things. I don't know if people are making decisions that will last years and they're not so worried about timing. See, remember, if you have no leverage at all, for example, you don't really care about timing because you're thinking years or months and years. You're not thinking minutes, right? And then other people are getting out and other people are hedging and other people, like, there's so many reasons for people to be doing something. But if it's true that 90% of retail traders lose money because they don't know what the hell they're doing, well, I'm doing what I can to help. But ultimately, if someone does something stupid, I'm going to get them. And that's my job. Okay? Does the wolf feel bad about preying on the sick and weak? No, because the herd will be healthier and stronger in the long run. Okay? Yeah, Mohammed, the Aussie's come and gone several times, I think. But anyways. Yep. Coolio. So tomorrow's non-farm payrolls, everybody. So I will be at the FX Street YouTube channel. I know I put in the schedule that I was going to be on this channel, but I'll have to delete that event. I forgot. But non-farm payrolls is tomorrow, so I'll be at FX Street for that. It'd be great to have you by my side. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cash says, if someone who makes a poor decision doesn't make them, that's true. I agree with that. And the so-called uneducated don't have to pay for it. No, but what Johnny's saying, I believe, I can't speak for Johnny, there's a lot of people making very dumb decisions. And most of the time they're not even trying. I don't know what they're doing, but they're not doing the work. They're not making educated decisions. And that's probably really good. That's a really good money making opportunity, right? But is it everybody? No. But, yeah. Right? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I've met Johnny, though. Well, not in person, but I know he's not arrogant, right? So it's most likely misunderstood, right? But yeah, I know what he's saying. It's just how about this? As a community here at Forex.Today, Cash, we spend a lot of time every single day working hard on learning why and how. We really focus on improving our knowledge of the markets and how markets work. We're really focusing on understanding and planning and preparation, right? And so there are many that just simply don't do any of that, and they're fair game. They're fair game, right? Mark says, is tomorrow's live session private? No, just fxstreet.com. Or no, sorry, youtube.com/fxbook. youtube.com/fxstreet. Okay. But anyways. Yeah. Okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. Woo! So if you're in my live trading group, my swing trading group, I will see you in a few hours. Okay. Right on, Aaron. Awesome. Yeah, so I'll see you guys later at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, the day before NFP. The link was hard to find. Let me see if I can help. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, wait, they might have added something. Nope. Let's see. Here it is. And I'll put that in the description too. Trade non-farm payrolls live. 182. I'll put a link there. All right, so now there's a link in the description as well underneath this video. Dr. Yeah, Cash, I think you're making too much of a big thing, or you're making it too big. It's not arrogance, and I don't believe Johnny's an arrogant person. I know what you're saying, but I think you're being too sensitive. But you know, I don't know. Like even that, like I think you're fine. I think he's fine. I like me too. You know, that's all. There's no fight, though. Is all I'm saying. I understand your point of view, and it makes sense to me. And I also know Johnny, and that's not quite what he meant. So, anyways. Oh, you get an error on the link? All I did was copy, and yeah, that's all I did. Yeah, Cash, I know. Cool, right on. Right, so anyways, peace to everybody. Peace. Just, right? Peace. All right, so we're going to make our profits on only the smart money. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. Cheers. And by the way, Cash, I think we do make the biggest profits off of the big, fat, and lazy hedge funds, right?